The entire party, 4 years, staked everything on democracy. And that was a bad move. They're still staking the conversation on democracy. And we see with our own two eyes, people really don't give that much of a fuck about democracy because we see
So
basically
what do you think it
minimal.
should be on now? What do you
I
think should be
think
so
what
there?
I've been saying for years, citizenship. That's what the real thing is. That's personal. That's what people understand. People understand the idea of, okay, I'm an American citizen. Do I want to have to go through 10 checkpoints to get to work? Do I want to have my due process suspended? Do I want people to be able to harass me under the guise of under the guise of immigration or under the guise of fighting crime? I think that most people would say, no, I don't want to live like that. Most people would. You do have some people that, okay, they would pro Trump, whatever. But most people would say, I didn't sign up to be going through ICE checkpoints and shit, going through getting stopped by the police every day. Most people would say that's not what I signed up for.
But Reese, I kind of think the language of citizenship might be as vague as the language of democracy. I don't know if that would, sadly, I don't know if a lot of people know what citizenship really means. I don't know if that
They
would
Well, how do they not know what it means
motivate.
when the
They don't know
whole
what
thing that
democracy means
Republicans
either.
win on is illegal aliens, illegal aliens. It's crazy to say that people don't know what citizenship means when they know
I
illegal.
don't think they,
So
but
you
I'm
think that
talking
people know
about
illegal, but they don't know U.S. citizen. They don't know U.S. citizen
yeah,
has
because they're
rights.
putting that in the language of what do you mean citizenship? Those immigrants over there. But I'm talking about all the folks that didn't vote. I don't. You could be right. I just don't. I mean, democracy seems pretty plain. You saw them trying to overturn it January 6th, and
And
folks
nobody cared.
really that. Yeah, I don't know if because people think of citizenship. We're just hypothesizing here that that's automatic. That's not going nowhere. What does that mean for an American? I mean, we've had folks call into this show. Well, we're not going to be impacted by it. I don't even know if that is going to
Because
hit.
nobody has, because they haven't been told, they haven't been explained that. They haven't been explained that. They haven't been explained how their citizenship is being eroded. Everybody understands the concept of I'm an American citizen. I'm a citizen, I have rights. Democracy is something that there's evidence and data to show that most people in this country are not satisfied with democracy. They don't think that democracy is working for them. So, what the hell does saving democracy do for them if it ain't working for them? Now, is it really that democracy isn't working for them? No, it's this isn't working for them, that isn't working with them. But democracy as a concept is not something that people feel is working for them. Most people would agree that being an American citizen has privileges, it has rights. Most people would not trade places with a Nicaraguan asylum seeker or
Okay, so,
somebody.
so explain this. So I'm feeling this. So in case someone's listening and they're a new listener, let's say you live in North Philly and you're a non-voter, or you only voted once or twice, and we're hearing this beautiful woman named Reese Colbert talking about citizenship. So, what does it mean for a 35-year-old black man to hear you might lose your citizenship? Because he's probably thinking, I ain't gonna lose my citizenship. What are you talking about? I was born in America. This is a non-issue for me. What does that really mean for them?
So, what it means is if you have the military occupying your city and the military has set up checkpoints that every person going through that checkpoint has the either ability to be stopped without cause, without a warrant, without any kind of prompting of anything that you've done, just by the sheer fact of you driving or walking through this checkpoint, they have the right to stop you. They have a right to ask for your identification, to ask where you're going and all these things. They have a right to run your background information, and then they have a right to detain you if they find anything. That is not citizenship as we have come to enjoy it in this country, because you have to have probable cause. Unless you're talking about stop and frisk New York, which all that stuff was deemed unconstitutional, which again goes back to citizenship, then the cops do not have a right to stop every single person and ask for your ID. That is what being an American citizen is. We have due process, we have probable cause, we have a right against search and seizure, illegal search and seizure, and all of those things. So now, when you have a regime that has ICE, FBI, and National Guard, and you have police departments, they're all coordinating their law enforcement activity, which normally there would not be that level of coordination. Then now, you walking from point A to point B, you now have much less rights as a US citizen than you had previously.
But for a lot of black folks, not all, and I know you aren't, I know they might say, well, we've already had shaky citizenship. What does that mean for me now? Like I already get stopped by the Philadelphia PD. I already get questioned. My ancestors, like for a lot of people, that may not be the turning point because they feel like that's always been
And
under
that's
threat.
fine. That's fine. It's not going to hit everybody. Some people, they're like, well, shit's fucking bad. It's going to be bad. Okay. You're not my audience. You're unreachable. Boom. I'm not even wasting time on you. If you think this is as bad as it gets, well, it's already fucked up for me. So you give a damn. Cool. Boom. Not wasting my time. Bye. Be the 87 million. Maybe instead of 89 million, you'll be 87 million motherfuckers who don't care about nothing. But there are the average person has never lived in a place where there are 10 checkpoints set up in their city, like there are in DC right now, in which they have to go through those checkpoints no matter what they're doing. That is not an American concept at all. There might be DUI, oh, there's a DUI checkpoint here, stuff like that. That is not the same as what we're seeing here. And the fact
I
that
think
it's
Americans, go ahead.
I if Americans are think that this is what American citizenship looks like, then you know what? You're right. I'm gonna shut up. There's no
I
hope for
think
this
they have to.
country, nothing. But I don't
I think they
think
have to
that that is a
significantly lose
standard
it.
thing at all.
I think they have to significantly lose citizenship to understand what it looks like to not have it.
I don't
I
know if you
think
have to
I just
significantly lose it. I think that the first time I'm going through a checkpoint, I would be like, "What the fuck is
no, I'm
this?"
with you. I'm with you. I get it. But I'm just thinking what could hit through, what could break through the noise because democracy doesn't work. Didn't work rather. Um, you were talking about citizenship, maybe it would. But I'm just worried.
But
You know,
that's the problem. You take I've made the statement. And every person that I've made, every time I've said citizenship, that we've had people call in and say, I get exactly what Reese is saying. And the same thing. People understand that. But the problem is Democrats look at fucked up messages that didn't work, indisputably didn't work. And then they're like, well, that didn't work. So I don't know if anything will work. No, it's not that I don't know if anything will work. That didn't work. Okay. That didn't work. If they had spent the amount of money and investment in making people understand what is at stake. Because guess what? All the abortion shit that they was trying to do, anytime they had a chance to vote on abortion, they figured that shit out real quick. Yep, let's make sure we protect our abortion rights. So they got the message on that. But they didn't get the message on all these other things. They only saw we're going to stick it to the trans people, we're going to stick it to the immigrants. They did not
right.
understand that by doing that, your citizenship is also on the line. They didn't understand that when the cops can pull you over and say, I think that you're here illegally and arrest your ass, and there ain't nothing you can do, that means that you don't have citizenship anymore.
one of I mean, and it's probably a little bit of everything, right? My thing. One of the things that I've been saying is that Democrats, they got to figure out how to combat hate messaging. That's why Trump won. He didn't have policy. He didn't care about the economy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a convicted felon. He was selling watches and Bibles. But they got to figure this shit out. I think one of the grandest mistakes that I shouldn't say grand, one of the biggest mistakes the Harris campaign made is not combating that they them. You
Oh yeah,
really
that
got to.
was
They're,
egregiously ridiculous.
they're on Southern Strategy 2.0, y'all, and they ain't playing. I mean, so what are you going to do? We need someone that's going to go hard. That's going to it's only going to get uglier, and that's how Republicans have been winning elections for a very long time. Otherism, fear. The welfare queen, Willie Horton ad, red line. These black folks are moving into your neighborhoods, and I've said it before. I'll say it again. Now, sadly, some folks in our community have been baited and we're falling for it. I mean, I've
Yeah.
said it at the barbershop. I couldn't believe I would hear, I don't like Trump, but he's right on that trans shit. I mean, I
Oh
think
yeah,
that
that's not just a white people thing. That's crossing
not
racial
anymore.
lines. I
Absolutely.
said
It's
it after
cross.
getting off of Chicago public radio. Chicago Talk Radio in 2023. I said, woo child, this trans shit and this
You
immigration
got it.
shit is killing us. I said that in
Even if there's
2023.
black trans people, there's black
Yes.
immigrants. So if Democrats don't figure out how to go hard with that, and I don't know what I'm not getting paid. I don't know what the strategy is, but y'all got to figure out how to even as the Trump administration is the administration that approved surgery for trans folks in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Even as under his administration, they approved it, right? They got to figure out how to combat hate, man, because people understand girls playing and boys playing in girls' sports, and these immigrants are taking our jobs. It's such plain Jane hateful language that they were using on poor white folks not decades ago, but they've always used it for poor white folks. Folks just fall for it. If you can give somebody else a look down on somebody else, look down on them, but don't never look up, just look down. If you can look down, then we good. But listen, we don't work for the DNC. We've never had a Beltway elite job,
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't
they
think
have a
that
bunch of think tanks
they
to
don't
figure this out.
wanna they try to appeal to the better angels of people, and we ain't got a better
Right.
angel. We a country of a whole bunch of goddamn devils, to be honest with you. So that better angel shit, that's out the fucking window. Trying to appeal to people on the humanity and empathy and stuff like that, there's a limited amount of success you're gonna have with that. But you know what? Maybe you're right, Clay. Maybe this country is irredeemable. I don't even know why we have talk radio to try to tell motherfuckers what's what. I don't even know why I bother to try to say, hey, this wasn't working. Maybe try this, because at the end of the day, I guess everybody just dumb and we just deal what we can with Trump. So that's
I'm
fine.
not saying it's irredeemable. I'm just saying that sadly, I think for the majority of people, it has to be so dumbed down. It has to be so dumbed down to like 1 + 1 = 2. If it's 3 × 7 = 21, it's too much. And I'm not saying that for any demographic. I'm just saying for Americans in general. Folks don't know how civics works. They don't know how a bill becomes a law. They don't know how their state house, their state senate works. It's just sadly, it's got to be at the basic level. It can't be too much.
Oh, I
That's
agree.
I think it's
But
just
I also think
so
that you can't you have to work at it as well. Republicans work at it. Republicans don't strike gold like on day one. On day one, nobody gives a fuck about uh trans in sports. Nobody gives a fuck about trans people in the bathroom. Nobody gives a fuck about CRT or DEI. But by day 600 or day 180, that's all that everybody's talking about in the country. Now we got to have a whole with CRT isn't taught in elementary schools, and DI means da. Republicans
they're all being
understand
true.
that you work at it. Republicans understand that you make a thing a thing. Democrats don't do that. And that's why they take something and they drop it. And they're like, oh, okay, well, that didn't work. Oh, okay, well, people don't blame Trump for COVID. Okay, I guess you're going to drop that. Oh, people don't blame Trump for the economy being affected. Oh, okay, so I guess we dropped that. Oh, well, our one focus group said they don't care about the they, them, man. Oh, okay, I guess we dropped that. That's the shit that Democrats do. Republicans don't do that. Now, they're getting better. They are getting better. But largely speaking, they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll just drop it. And Republicans will work and work and work, and they'll get everybody on that message until that is the only thing that this country is focused on.
Let's go to Wayne from Delaware. What's up, Wayne?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. So, first of all, you guys are great. Love your show. I love all that. So,
Thank you.
I get where Reese's going with the citizenship, but to me, telling people that they're going to lose their citizenship is like, they're going to couch that with, okay, citizen versus non-citizen. Just like,
Right.
just like I'm not a criminal. So they're not going to mess with me because I'm not a criminal immigrant, right? I think that the term should be that should be used is you're going to lose your constitutional rights. And if you want to throw in as a citizen in that, because that's what's happening. They're ignoring the Constitution, this document that we've been following for 250 years, and they're taking that and they're throwing it away. And they're saying, you have no rights, you have no due process. We could just come snatch you off the street when we want to, take you anywhere we want to, ship your ass anywhere we want to ship you. And nope, you have no rights. No Miranda rights, no nothing. So I think people,
you know, I'm not sure. I hear you, Wayne. I don't think people know what constitutional rights are. I just don't think people even understand what that means. They don't know due process. I just don't. You'd have to say some shit like, not this, but something like, you're going to be a slave again. Not that. But,
right. I mean, yeah, that's where it's headed. That's
you-
where it's headed. Yeah.
You're going to be picking cotton, for real.
Yeah. No. I mean, that's to put it plainly. You guys gonna be picking cotton.
Make it plain.